Welcome back to RealVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith. I've got another property for you. This one is in Humboldt County, California. It's close to the ocean. There's beach, there's a boat launch, and there's a power line right by the property. There's a house next door. It's a paved street, so you can drive up to it and build a house. Build a house and go for it. So let's take a look at this property and see if this is the right one for you. Jump into the website, RealVacantLand.com, and we've got this one. I'm asking $6,000. It's the cheapest one in the area. It's quarter acre, 0.23 acres, almost just a hair shy of a quarter acre. We got some. Here's a cartoon of it. You can see the power line running by. There's a road that goes on two sides of the property. This is from one side looking in. Some pine trees on the property, but mostly bush. It's basically cleared and just ready to put a house in here. And I believe if you built the house high enough, you could see the ocean from here. So this would be the street, the upper side of the street. If you went around and came from the back side, and the ocean's right over here. We'll go do some street view, and I think we can see the ocean from the street. So here's a power line running by. Here's a street. I mean, it's a little paved road. So here's a map of the area. This is the Pacific Ocean, and this is Shelter Cove. It's the name of the area. And there's a road that comes here through the mountains out to this neighborhood that's right on the ocean. Here's a map of the different roads running through the area. This is Telegraph Creek Road, and so it's a little branch off of Telegraph Creek Road before the hill kicks up a bunch. So it's in the flatter areas just above the creek, Telegraph Creek. Yeah, so just different. You can see there's a house next door, there's a house up the street, there's one down the next branch, there's a couple of them down the road. There's houses spackled through the area. So they've figured it out. They've figured out how to make it work, and they built their home there and they're loving it, going for it. So here's a drawing of the lot. So this lot's in between the one with the house, and the one next door would be in the circle, going around the circle here. It's a vacant lot next door. So between the house and the vacant lot next door, there's a house over here and a house over here. So kind of three houses in here that have figured it out. Just pictures from numerous different angles, and we'll jump in. Let's look at the map on this. So I've got an interactive map on the website, and so if you go to the link in the description of the video below, it'll take you to the website, and you can play with this interactive map. You can zoom in, zoom out, move around, and see it in multiple different ways and stuff. So here we've got the street coming around the property. I think if we pan out, we'll see the bigger picture of what's going on here. So it's just up the road from the beach. You got this big, they call it Black Beach. It's a Black's Beach. You could go hiking, take your dog for a walk on this beach, go enjoy the nature and the scenery of just this public lands. This is all, all this stuff around the area is, I think it's National Forest, King's National Forest, or King's Preserve, King's Mountain, King's Range Mountain. I'm going to forget the exact name of it, but it's all put aside for nature. And so you can go hiking and explore, but nobody can build in there. And so you can see the road coming out, snaking through the mountains to this neighborhood. And this neighborhood has like 4,000 or 5,000 lots in it. And maybe 1,500 or 2,000 of them or something are developed. A lot of them are back up in the hills and just crazy hillside, and it's not really developable in today's standards from when they built the neighborhood. There's a airstrip down at the bottom of the neighborhood. There's a golf course that goes around it. There's some restaurants, some inns. There's a campground. There's a boat launch. So the boat launch is, I like fishing, right? I mean, I got fish on my shirt and stuff, I'm always looking at the fishing side of it. So there's a boat launch down here. There's a bunch of boats that people are parking, and probably you got to pay something to keep your boat in the lot here. But they've got tractors, and they'll use the tractor to drive the boat over to the boat launch and launch the boat for you. And then when you're coming back, you can just call them on your cell phone, and they'll bring your trailer back over, put it in the water so you can drive right up on it and go put it back over here in the parking. So that's how some people do it. Other people are doing it themselves. Maybe launch it and have their friend going boat while the other one parks it or something. But they've got a break wall here to make a easier piece of the ocean to go launch your boat in and out of. So there's the boat launch on that side of town. On the north side is the beach. So over here you can drive up, and they've got a parking area here. So you can drive here and look at the beach, and you can go to the parking area and park and go hike the beach. If we take the street view guy, well, look at this. We can even do 3D. Look at there. We'll see what this looks like. Somebody's got a 3D picture on the beach. So here's a shot of the beach, and so the house is up on the cliff there, and some rocks and just surf. And so this is what the beach looks like. They're just not very far away from your property. So you could go, I mean, you could ride your bike over here, or take a golf cart or a car, or walk over to the beach. If you're going for a beach walk, you might as well just hike it. And look at these mountains. I mean, just big Kings National Forest, mountain range. This is the Lost Coast. This is, there aren't any roads over here because it's steep and it's jagged like this. And so it's just this natural, preserved, desolate coast that you can go explore. So if you're going to look at this property, I mean, plan some time in there to go explore this too. So here's the parking lot and access and stuff up here. So if we get out of this, we can go back into there and we'll take a look at what else we've got. So it looks like we could do another 3D here. So here's from the parking lot looking down at the beach. This looks like a little bit sunnier time that someone took this picture. It looks like a nice, good collection of logs. I wonder if you can have a beach fire. It looks like a good beach for beach fire. You collect wood and go for it. This is probably Telegraph Creek coming out here. There's a couple different people going for beach walks. It's a nice sunny day when this was taken. It's probably the same rock we were just seeing in the last picture. Here's the path going down to the beach. Looks like some tide pools in there the kids would love to play in. And there's some rocks down here that looks like it'd be great to go diving for abalone, and probably all kinds of different rockfish. Maybe find a lingcod in there. That'd be fun to shoot or knife or take home for dinner. And so here's the kind of coastline, just these kind of wind-swept bushes. You can see they're not growing straight because they're getting hit by the ocean for, the wind and the weather over time. And then you got some nice green grass going on with houses perched up in the hills looking back at the ocean. This looks like the overlook that you can see from above. And there's the parking lot, so different people hitting the parking lot and going down to explore the beach. So this is what would be right down the coast from you, or just down the hill from you. You can look at these pictures too by going on ruralvacantland.com and just dragging the blow up this map. And I click it and it's taking a bit. Let's just reload this thing. So you can take the Google guy in there and you can drive the roads and you can look at this neighborhood and you can look at it from multiple different ways. And they've got these 3D pictures in here. So now we're zoomed back in on the property. Maybe we should look at the property. Let's take the little Google guy from the corners, drag him over here, and let's start up the road and then drive down. So this would be up the road a bit from where the property is. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Looks like somebody's got a little camper trailer parked up there. And you can see the ocean from here. I mean, this is up the hill a little bit, but you can see the ocean from there. And oh, here's a neighbor. So these guys, they look like they've got a mobile home or a RV or a fifth wheel or whatever you call this thing. A camper trailer with propane tanks on it, parked in there. I mean, the fence is cutting it off. It doesn't look like they ever moved that thing. It looks like they put a greenhouse in there and they got their roses and plants and stuff going. Looks like they've got a deer fence and fence it off and go for it. Oh, there's dogs. Let's keep the dogs in. That's what they're trying to do. So they're keeping the dogs in. Not sure what kind of dogs those are. I wouldn't want to try to pet them. But yeah, it looks like they've got a heater in the greenhouse too. They keep it from the colder times. It's partway built into the hill, so they get a little bit of protection from the extreme elements. So where is this? This one might not even be on the satellite. Yeah, I guess it is. So in the satellite picture, you've got a couple people parked up here, and you got the power line coming across and going past. It doesn't look like they actually hooked into the power there, The power goes up here. What is that? Looks like somebody built a cabin at the end of the road too. So that's where the power is going. It's just a little shack of a cabin, you know. So you could build not much to get away in here. And look over here. Someone else got a mobile home pulled off the road and parked back in there too. So people are doing, or RVs, I should say. People are doing RV living here. The codes don't say you can do that. I mean, you're supposed to build a home, from my understanding, but I believe a lot of people have done RV living in here. So here's another one doing RV living off the end of this road. And there's a house up here. I mean, these people are building actual houses. And there's a lot of greenhouses, greenhouse. I mean, this is Humboldt County, right? So all these homes have greenhouses. And California laws have opened up to allow you to grow marijuana to some degree, but maybe not like full-on commercial without getting more permits and stuff. I'm sure you guys know the laws on that a lot more than I do. But this area has been open to it a lot longer than just the California laws. And so that's part of it too. Okay, so let's start back here. Let's see. Okay, so we got these people that are these people would be the ones that would drive past. This would be like the only traffic going past you. And so if we go down the hill from there, let's see if we can find the property. This is called Rain Tree Court that we're driving on. And you can see we got these nice beautiful pine trees and the power line going down the road, or pretty close to the road. There's a fire hydrant here on the road, so I'm guessing you get water hookup on this. I'm pretty sure this is in the septic area. So if you look up the hill inland, you can see the valley that this neighborhood is in. And this valley goes back out to, you know, the road follows the valley back out to Highway 101. And then let's look for the ocean, see if we can still find the ocean. Yeah, so if we look around this way, you can see a crack of the ocean out here as we're still driving the road. We're not down to the property yet. We're still going downhill to the property. But, I mean, it's nice and clear here, but it's kind of foggy over the ocean when whoever took this picture took it. You can see this road is older road and it's kind of overgrown a bit. It's not super well maintained because, I mean, there's hardly anybody that drives on it. It's basically like your own driveway, right? Shared with one person up the way. You can start seeing the houses down here. So that we're getting closer to the property. This looks like it'd be a fun road to drive a bicycle down. Okay, so here's the power line coming across the road. So we're getting closer to the property. So here's, I believe this would be the neighbor. So this would be the neighbor behind the property. And from the road here, you can still see the ocean. Like right here, it's opening up. You can see it even better. I don't think you're going to build the house as tall as we're at right here, but because this would be your neighbor and that's how tall they went. I mean, it looks like they're going to have an ocean view from their house there as well. But so if we go down and we build next to these guys, I mean, there's some trees here, but beyond it, I mean, there's a good section of ocean out there. So the ocean's not like right up in your face where you're getting a bunch of weather, but I think you take out, I mean, these trees are at the back of the lot. You go build, this is the lot. So you build in here, build as tall as you can, and you're going to be looking out over the trees down below at the ocean back there. I mean, these trees are just ones that are on your property. You could put the house in front of them or cut these trees down or whatever. But if we go past the trees, you can see out over there. I mean, you're going to be looking south down the coast. So it's probably white water kind of lineup. See the waves crashing into the shore down there. And I think you're going to be seeing the ocean. If we keep going down the hill, it's going to start disappearing. Maybe still a crack downhill. So this is going to be the neighbor's lot. This will be the vacant lot behind you or in front of you. You can look back. So this would be the valley you're looking at. And it's oftentimes nicer to be a step back from the ocean instead of getting all the weather. I love the view and the noise and the nature of the like pelicans flying by and stuff. I mean, I love that part of being right up in front of the ocean. But just going back a little bit from the ocean, you get better weather. So I think you still see a crack of ocean even down here towards the bottom of the neighbor's property. Here's the neighbor across the street. You can see what they've got going on here. So it looks like they built an actual house, got a deck and yard and things going on. And if we look back, so this is where the road bends around. Your property would be back in here next to that house. So now we're on Mill Creek Road, and this would be looking at your property. So it looks like there's some nice flowers in there. So this is it. There's a hill there, and so between that road and this road is where you could put the house. So you could put like a walkout basement or maybe a garage in the bottom. You drive in and put the house on top of that. Try to get as much view of the ocean as you can. I mean, you guys can plan what you want to plan, but that's just what I'm thinking by looking at it. Like, look at these guys. They got a nice big deck. I bet you that deck looks out at the ocean. Multiple decks and windows in the front. So they got a driveway going up, and I don't know if they put a garage under the house or they even have a garage, but yeah, it kind of looks like they put the garage under the house, if I'm seeing that right, through the bush, and then decks up top. And the bush just gets too thick to see what they're really doing. So they've got some privacy with those bushes. And then we get down here to a little bit bigger road. We can look around the area too. So that's the power line coming along. This is Telegraph Creek Road. The creek's going to be down here on the other side of the street, so that's not going to be messing with your property. It's not going to be a flood zone or anything, because the creek's over there. It's not flowing through your property. And then the ocean's back over here. So you get down to the bottom, and I don't think you can't see the ocean anymore. You're getting too low elevation. So I think that property is like right on the line of seeing some ocean and not seeing the ocean. Yeah, so there you go. So that's the property I've got. So I'm asking $6,000, and looking at the market on that makes it the cheapest in the area. I'll jump into that in a sec. We've got the buy it now button. Just make sure that works. I think I got it set up so you can do you could do $500 down to hold it, and then, you know, if you're doing the $500 down, I'm expecting you to pay in short order, like the next week or something. If you're sending a cashier's check or you're wiring money or whatever you're doing, please keep me updated on how you're going to pay the rest of it. Otherwise, $6,000. I mean, do $6,000. You put it on a credit card. I mean, even the $500 down, if you can't get the $6,000 to work in a daily transaction, you do the $500 down, and then we can break up the card between multiple transactions or over multiple days to get the full $6,000 to go through. And so it's asking for your title information. You know, what name do you want to own this property in? Your tax address. Where do you want it sent to? Where do you want the future tax bills to go to? Contact information, so I can ask questions about doing the paperwork for you. But I'll do all the paperwork for you, get it recorded, get it into your name, have the county send you the recorded deed with all the stamps and approvals and everything on it. I was just checking the taxes on this property. The taxes are all paid up right now. So that's all good. Well, this says, these are the 2019. It says they'll be delinquent in December. You know, now I'm looking at this, I don't think they've billed for 2019 yet. So just, but the 2017, I was just looking, or the 2018, where's 2018? So 2018, $41, you know. So got the property pulled up here. The on Zillow. So I pulled the neighborhood up on Zillow. The cheapest thing in the neighborhood is this $4,999. It's one of my properties, and I'm scratching my head because that one's already sold, but it's still on Zillow, And so I'm calling it just bad data. I'm going to try to get that fixed so that drops off of Zillow, because that's sold and it's not for sale anymore. The next cheapest one that's on there is $7,500, and it's 0.31 acres. It's been on there for 9 days. Let's see what they've got. So this is, I believe, up the hill kind of property, a lot like this one. They got pictures. I mean, they got some trees. There's a street that comes up to it. You can't tell if there's an ocean view to it or not. Looks like a pretty steep hill. Maybe there is an ocean view. So they've got an ocean view on that one. So they're asking $7,500. I'm asking $6,000. It's been on the market for 9 days, 284 views, 4 saves. The next one, 7,997. Been on the market 200 days, 118 views, 3 saves. Doesn't look like a view. So I think you got a steep lot that might be hard to get the septic to set in. If you look at this $7,500 one, you get a view from up the top of the hill, but there's enough topography there. It's probably gonna be really hard and expensive to get your septic to go into the hill. And there's no sewer district in this part of the neighborhood where this one's at. $8,000, that doesn't look like that's in the sewer district either. So the cheaper ones in this neighborhood are usually not in the sewer district, because it's really hard to get the septic to work in lots of the properties in this neighborhood, and that's what makes them unbuildable. The one that I've got is next door to somebody who already put a septic in and built a house. And so I think that same area should support another septic system and another house, and it's not much of a hill. The hills, this one with a view, I mean, they had a picture of the property. Like, look at this tree, look at the hill that's going on here. Just think about pumping your septic into a hill like that. I mean, it's just going to squirt right out the side of the hill, and the hill's going to fall down, and you're going to be responsible for whoever's down below, or whatever you built on that property. I shouldn't laugh, because it's, the county probably won't even let you do it. Like, you got to get engineering firms to say it's going to hold up, and the way that they're doing it's going to last and everything. I mean, you're probably talking about a $30,000 or a $50,000 septic system instead of a $7,000 or a $10,000 septic system. And so the real cost of a lot like this is much more than the advertised price. I mean, they're advertising a price that's still higher than mine, but they've got this picture in there, which is a view of the ocean, which is spectacular. I love views of the ocean. But to be able to take advantage of this view of the ocean, you got to get the septic to get into that hill. And I don't think it's going to happen just by looking at that picture. So if I had that picture, I wouldn't buy this property in the first place because of that hill and because of the cost of getting the septic into that hill. And I wouldn't try to tell you guys that I got this great deal, because that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough one. I'm sure someone will go for it, but it's just going to be tough. And then you got no view stuff. And before you know it, you're talking twice the price of what I'm asking. So here's $10,000. Let's take a look at this one. They just dropped the price $10,000. This looks like, I was gonna say that neighboring house looks like the same one, but it's just same style deck. Nice big trees. Looks like a lot that goes down a hill too. You'd have to build on the hill and try to get the septic stuck in the hill. That's the main issue with a lot of the lots in this neighborhood. I think it sets them apart drastically in price and buildability is the topography of the hill. And I've got engineers and stuff that I can get you on the phone with to talk more about that and the different properties in this neighborhood. I've got quotes on some of the properties I've had in the past that were hill properties, and they're talking $50,000 just to quote it. And once you get into it, it's going to be more than that. It's just they're like out of the gate trying to sign you up quote. Yeah, so here's some more hill property. So all these cheaper ones are hills. This one might not be as much of a hill. This one doesn't look like as much of a hill as some of the others. So by the time you get up to 13.5, like twice the price of what I'm talking about, the hills aren't as bad. It's more usable. Like they say, usable. So that's the marketplace that this property's in. I'm going to get this on the MLS and get it shown in there. So I'll get this one taken off, and by the time you go look, it'll probably be $6,000, be the cheapest one on the market, because this one's not real. It's not for sale anymore. And this one is more expensive and not buildable, in my opinion, by looking at a picture and not really knowing any better. Yeah, so there we go. Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com, bringing you another property that you could run with and have fun with and go fishing from and exploring the beach from, the woods and the nature. Hopefully this is the right one for you. Go take a look at it. Let me know. Check out with it. I'll do the paperwork and make it yours in short order. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again in the next one. Bye.